Let us start today with the second unit of solid state, crystal lattice and unit cells. This unit is divided in two parts. We are currently studying part 1. The first term in crystallography is crystal itself. Crystal is solid composed of molecules, atoms or ions which are all arranged in an orderly repetitive manner such that we get a three-dimensional pattern, and they have a characteristic shape or a perfect geometry throughout. We had studied earlier about a term called long range order. That same concept has been used over here. A crystal is made up of or imagined to be made up of crystal lattice. Crystal lattice is defined as the regular arrangement of all the constituent particles in a three-dimensional space. A crystal lattice has those constituent atoms whose positions will be occupied by either atoms, ions or molecules. These atoms, ions or molecules are called lattice points or lattice sites. You can see in this picture that the darkened cell is an unit cell, and so many unit cells are imagined to join to give a crystal lattice. All the spheres what you see, they are the constituent particles. So we can imagine a picture that constituent atoms make up one geometrical picture called unit cell. Several unit cells join to form crystal lattice, and a huge crystal lattice is what we saw as a crystal. So finally, what is a unit cell? It is going to be the smallest repeating structural unit of a crystalline solid. And when it gets multiplied or repeated in several directions, we create a lattice. And when the crystal lattice is multiplied several times, we get a crystal. How do we define now unit cell? You see, defining a crystal or defining a crystal lattice is quite large. So we are going to focus only on the characteristic of unit cell, and whatever is applicable for unit cell will be applicable for crystal lattice, will be applicable for a crystal also. So parameters of unit cells are three. First, faces. We can imagine a kind of cubical structure, and the crystal lattice is made up of perfect flat surfaces which are known as faces. You can imagine in this diagram that there are three axes shown, x, y and z. Unit cell has been kept organized on these axes. We can see faces present over here. Second concept of a unit cell is edge. An edge is formed by intersection of two adjacent faces, or geometrically speaking planes. Interfacial angles are obviously three. The one which is written in the diagram as alpha is an angle between y and z axis. Beta is between x and z axis, and gamma is between x and y axis. Let us see these concepts once again. Faces, you can see I have marked a face over here. Then there could be an edge, and interfacial angles are already being marked in the diagram. Depending upon the different values of ABC and alpha, beta, gamma, there have been 7 type of unit cells. These 7 types of unit cells are also called 7 crystal systems. Any crystal in the world we discover has to belong to these one of the 7 types, and no other type has been discovered so far. These 7 types are mainly broadly classified as primitive system, face centered cubic system, body centered system, and end centered system. Now let us come to how these 7 systems are created. First of all, let us understand what are these 4 systems. The first primitive system is imagined this way. that we have a cubical unit cell and atoms are placed only at the corners. This is called primitive system. The second system is called face-centered system. You can see in this diagram that there are atoms or constituent particles at the corners. And if you imagine any face, you can see one atom at center of every face. If you watch carefully, a cube has six faces. So there are six centered atoms over there. The third is called body centered system. And there will be one atom in the center of the cube in addition to the corner atoms. The last one is end centered, which looks similar to face center, but only difference is only the top face and the bottom face has one atom in the center. These seven types of unit cells have been further classified as cubic, rhombohedral, hexagonal, tetragonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, and triclinic. So the seven systems you can see are cubic, rhombohedral, hexagonal, tetragonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, and triclinic. We have summarized here about the age length ABC and angles alpha, beta, gamma. But we will see this in quite a greater details. These seven systems were further classified and they are called Bravais type of unit cells. Auguste Bravais was a mathematician and in 1848 he classified the crystal systems in 14 different types using geometrical calculations. Today they are known as 14 Bravais lattice and there has been no 15th lattice discovered in so many years. Let us see now one by one these 14 types. This is a summary diagram of all the 14 types which we should know by heart. Let us begin one by one now. The first type under this comes this way. Observe the chart I have made. Here you can see the three age lengths A, B and C are equal. But the first condition is all three angle alpha, beta, gamma are going to be 90 degree. This system is called cubic system. There have been three systems possible: primitive, body centered, face centered. You can see this how the diagram looks. This is simple cubic, face centered cubic, body centered cubic. All of them have a characteristic: all age lengths are equal, all angles are 90 degree only. You can see now the second one where age lengths are equal, but out of the three angle they are not equal to 90 degree. This is known as rhombohedral and only one type of cell has been possible here: primitive cell. No body centered, face centered or end centered found here. Here out of 14 we have taken three types of cells. Let us continue counting. The next type we have now is A equal to B but not equal to C. Under this we have again two conditions of angles. First, alpha, beta, gamma all are equal and 90 degree, known as tetragonal. The type variations are primitive and body centered. In next case we have, these are the two possibilities: tetragonal simple primitive and tetragonal body centered. You can clearly see here the two lengths are equal but the third age length looks different. Hexagonal is a next type where one of the angle is 120 degree. There is only one possibility called primitive cell under this. Next type we have three types over here. In all three types common thing is none of the age lengths are equal. All three age length A, B, C are different. The first type is alpha, beta and gamma all are equal 90 degree, orthorhombic, and this is the only type where all four variations are seen: primitive, body centered, face centered and even end centered. The second type is where the one of angle is 120 degree is called monoclinic. Variations are only two, primitive and end centered. Let us see the diagrams of these. This is a diagram of all four types of orthorhombic. You can see clearly primitive, body centered, end centered, and face centered. Let us see what is monoclinic. In monoclinic, we have only two types, primitive and end centered. The last type is triclinic, where only primitive is possible. None of the angles are 90 degree, none of the edges are equal. These are the 14 different types of unit cells. Now let us come to the calculations which happen in crystallography. When we say that there are atoms at the corner of the cube, this contribution of every atom is found to be 1/8. Let me explain what I am saying. Look at one of the atom which is marked with a dark circle and imagine this to be the corner of the first unit cell which is numbered as 1. So you visualize, look at, observe, only focus on unit cell number 1 and you can see one particular corner where an atom is placed. We feel that atom belongs to unit cell number 1. But if you see a broader view, that atom belongs to the corner of unit cell 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That means how much part is present inside unit cell 1? Only 1/8. This is something like the way we divide a pizza. A pizza seems to be only one, but it's divided in 8 parts, and perhaps one person can get only 1/8 of its share. Remember, atom at the corner has contribution 1 upon 8. What about atoms at the edge center? See the diagram for better understanding. You can see center of an edge, and that single edge belongs to 4 different unit cells. So the contribution is 1 upon 4. If you have an atom at the center of a face, before I show you diagram, imagine for a moment a face of any unit cell is shared by how many of them? One face is belonging to two unit cells. So half a part is in one unit cell, half a part is in second unit cell. Keep on imagining that every atom is a sphere, is a ball, and half sphere is on one side, half a sphere on other side. The fourth case, if an atom is inside the cube, obviously inside is not being shared by anybody. So contribution of that atom is completely belonging to that unit cell. So if you are asked to calculate the number of atoms in unit cell, how do we calculate for primitive unit cell? Imagine a primitive unit cell has only atoms at the corners. So number of atoms are 1 upon 8 into 8, that makes it 1. So total number of atoms in primitive cubic cell is only 1 and don't imagine it to be 8. For body centered cubic cell, imagine the diagram first. In body centered we can see there are atoms at the corners which are being shared by other cells. One atom which is inside the cube. Now you can do the calculation. At the corner 1 upon 8 into 8, that makes it 1. Inside the center, inside the cube, it's complete 1. So how many total atoms are present in a body centered cubic cell? Totally 2. Imagine this now for face centered. See the diagram. Corner atoms 1 upon 8, face atoms 1 upon 2. So corner calculation 1 upon 8 into 8, 1. Center of face is half and every cube has 6 faces. So total number of atoms are 1 plus 3 as 4. There is a shortcut given for all these calculations. Imagine the formula. Total number of atoms in a unit cell is corner atoms upon 8 plus face atoms upon 2 plus body center atoms upon 1 plus edge center atoms upon 4. If you pay attention to it, it's a very simple formula. Corner contribution is 1 upon 8, face center is 1 upon 2, body center is 1, edge center is 1 upon 4, which has merged as one single formula. Let us see some variety of examples, numerical problems. Take a minute for reading the problem. There are two atoms elements A and B, and watch their positions. A atoms are at the corner of the cube. B atom are at the face center. So using our formula, atom A are at the corner. So contribution is 1 upon 8 into 8, that's 1. B is at the center of face, 1 upon 2 into 6, so 3. So the formula is A1 B3. In all sorts of exams, these kind of problems are very popular. We change the problem little bit. Now A atoms are at the corners. B atom are at the face center. But now an additional condition is given in last line. While making the crystal, they found that one of the atoms from the corner is missing. So how do we make use of it? Corner contribution is 1 upon 8 multiplied by, now you can see 7 and not 8 because one atom from the corner is missing. Calculation of B goes straightforward. Half into 6 is 3. So the formula now becomes A is 7 upon 8 and B is 3. Clearing the fraction, that is multiplying throughout by 8, we get an answer A7 B24. You obviously cannot leave 7 upon 8 as number of atoms. Now we come to not just A, B, C, D, but proper formulae of inorganic compounds. Imagine here W, that means tungsten, located at the corner of the cube. Oxygen, located at the center of the edge. And sodium in the center of the cube. Let us use the trick now. For tungsten, corner is 1 upon 8 into 8, that's 1. Now we come to a little tricky calculation, oxygen. So far we have never used center of edge anywhere. Contribution was 1 upon 4. I have multiplied here by 12. Let me prove it, how it happens. You see, I have taken cube and at every center of edge I have kept an atom. You can clearly see the calculation. There are 12 edge centers. That makes it 3 atoms. Sodium is inside, so it's 1. So the formula of the compound becomes 1 sodium, 1 tungsten, 3 oxygen, NaWO3. Let us now calculate the formula of sodium chloride. You will wonder, everyone knows formula of sodium chloride perhaps from 7th standard, it's NaCl. I am talking about the formula of cube crystal lattice of NaCl, and it's not that easy. For that we must know a clear picture of sodium chloride. Spend 1 minute in understanding this diagram. The blue spheres are of chloride, red is shown as sodium. Let us see now calculation of chloride ions. Watch yourself first of all where chloride ions are placed. I can see them at two different positions. One at the corner of the cube. So at corner it becomes 1 upon 8 into 8, that's 1. Second, I can see chloride at the face centers. Satisfy yourself, check whether you can see them at 6 faces. Contribution becomes 3. So what is the number of total chloride ions in one unit cell of NaCl? 4. Let us do a similar calculation for sodium. Watch again, where are the sodium atoms? I can see them at the edge center. So as usual, 1 upon 4 into 12 H centers, that is 3, and one unique sodium at the center of the cube, that's 1. So the formula of sodium is 4. So what should be the formula of sodium chloride? It is Na4Cl4, which we simplify and write NaCl. You will see in some multiple choice questions, they use a term that sodium chloride has a formula for NaCl, which is nothing but Na4Cl4. With this video, we have completed right now the calculation of crystal lattice only. We have to do now the calculation of lattice parameters and lattice constant with some geometrical derivations. That part will be covered in the second video of the same topic.